Hello, this is 2 Minutes About Time with Luke Allen and Robert E.G. Black, the podcast that takes a look at the film About Time, 2 minutes at a time. I'm not Richard Curtis, I'm the Graham Curry, background artist extraordinaire, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't, you can always travel back in time 2 minutes and listen to something else.
I'm one of your hosts, Luke Allen. I'm joined as always with my co-host, Robert E.G. Black.
Hello.
And our special guest for this week, Bryon.
Howdy.
So today we're looking at minutes 103 and 104 of About Time, and if we'd only open our eyes, we'll see the blessings in disguise. I don't know, why did I think that was going to sound good? It's not relevant
nice.
at all.
No, it was good. I was almost going to say you're a poet and didn't know it.
Well, a thief.
So as they say, as Ron sings, we see the blessings in disguise. I was about to sing it, and then I thought, nah. Well, as Ron sings it, we see Tim in the pret-a-manger ordering a sandwich from the woman behind the counter, who we sort of see in a lot more close-ups. It's nice.
Look, she's a lovely lady. She's an attractive lady. She's worth a quick look back and like, hey, how you doing? I know he's not hitting on her or anything like that, but she's very cute.
And then
she was
smiling,
very nice.
he's smiling. She greets the next customer, and she's a little happier than...
Now, she must be a fan of Obi-Wan Kenobi, because she says to the next patron, hello there.
Hello there. Then Tim buys something different. We don't know what. His total is $6.23 this time. Instead of, what was it last time? $4.24?
It was for something, yeah. And it's gotta be just that he wanted something different that day. Maybe because he was in a rush, he just grabbed the first thing he saw, and today he's like, you know what? I know what I want. I should have grabbed that other thing over there, which is something a little more expensive.
Yeah.
But, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, when I worked at a law firm, I would go in the little shop in the building every morning, which, in retrospect, it would have been cheaper to bring my own stuff. But so, I wouldn't buy the same thing each day. It would be something slightly different. Like a slightly different drink, slightly different food, and like a newspaper. And then when I had a break, I'd read that newspaper. So, yeah, you make different purchases. You're not gonna buy the same thing every day. Maybe yesterday he got like the egg salad sandwich, and it wasn't very good. So now
True, right? So yeah, he learned his lesson.
Now he's getting something nicer.
Now this seems like a nicer place, but you know, like the packaging it came in reminds me of like when you stop at like a 7-Eleven or something, and then you get those crappy sandwiches, and it's like you get them because you're hungry, not because they're good. Yeah. I used to, when I was in the Marine Corps, which is why we do the Marine Corps Movie Minute, and I used to work in the General's building, and because of my schedule, I was not able to just go to Chow Hall whenever Chow Hall was open. We had to be at our facility for a certain amount of time, so we were given extra, like a stipend to be able to purchase food.
Yeah.
But then I lived in a barracks, and you're not allowed to have anything to cook other than a microwave. So, I mean, it's kind of like, what are you supposed to do? So one of the things that I would do is I would get my lunch at the General's building. I would walk downstairs, and they had a little, like a tiny little like commissary there, and I pretty much did get the same thing every day because there was nothing good in there. So it's like, but it reminded me of that. It's like, oh, here's this crappy sandwich, or, you know, a lot of times it was like, they for some reason they made up these like they actually were halfway decent salads, and it was like, all right, I'll get that and a soda. And I'm like, you know, you got to counter the healthy with the unhealthy. So
I had a teaching job a year or two ago where the only store nearby was like a Rite Aid. And if you need lunch from a Rite Aid and you don't have a microwave, you are screwed.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, a granola bar, some cheese.
Like, right.
You try to mix up what drink you get to make it interesting.
Right. Exactly.
Buy some Pringles today.
So yeah, we see the blessings in disguise, and Tim says, look around you, while he's in the main lobby.
I would like to know, as the visual guy, they did a really good job with the extras. Because even the ones walking are in basically the same spot, doing basically the same thing. It's pretty good.
Yeah. It's good that they had good continuity people.
Because there's a lot of extras in that lobby shop.
Yeah.
So do we know what courtroom it is?
Not the courtroom, no. This is the Royal Courts of Justice. This lobby is that place. The courtroom, it's hard. I think they all look basically the same, so it'd be hard to identify. There might be one. Actually, if it's anything like the LA county courts in downtown LA, there's a specific courtroom that they use for movies all the time. That they actually have one set aside for people to film it.
Oh, that's good.
Because there's a lot of stuff that films in courtrooms in LA, so.
Oh yeah.
Just have one.
I'm surprised they don't use more sets, but yeah, it makes sense that they would want to have something authentic or on location, and I'm sure.
And then the city makes money off it, so.
Right, exactly. That's exactly where I was going.
I think they should just
Sorry.
be like a place where there's loads of just pre-built, genuine sets.
Well, there
is
is a White House set like that, and there's a company, Hollywood Air, which is a bunch of interior of planes. You can just go there and film in a plane, and then you pay for the different prop. They already have all the plane props, like carts and stuff you might need.
Oh,
that's
it's
good.
handy.
So yeah, so they're running along and seeing the blessings in disguise. That all the rain clouds are fountains, although their troubles seem like mountains. And Rory says, "Yeah, come on." Tim then follows on the line with, "What?" And then we have the not guilty.
That was confusing.
Fantastic.
Tim says, "Come on." Rory says, "What?"
Yeah, not guilty. Fantastic. The defendant says, who's smiling, and Tim and Rory are very happy about it. Do you find it weird that, like, Rory's a lawyer? Rory's, like, I don't know.
Actually, I think he would be useful as, like, the second chair kind of lawyer, or the one that does the paperwork, because he's gonna do whatever you want. And he's gonna be happy to do it. I think he'd be useful.
I'd want a lawyer like Rory, someone who you could have a laugh with while still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he reminds me of like the Foggy Nelson to Matt Murdock type thing. Yeah.
And, so they're all smiling and celebrating, and Rory's wig falls off twice.
Well, no, it falls off once. Tim knocks
and then
it off.
he knocks it off. Yeah.
Now, this isn't what I expected a little bit more from the first time. Maybe not knocking the wig off and hugging and all that like they did. But that first, like, wow, yeah, and like Tim, what does he put his hand, pats, Rory's knee or something when they win, it looks like. You know, you expected that. They, fist bump and look back at the defendant, who then smiles and is happy. And that's exactly what I thought would have happened the first time. Now, obviously the hugging and the kind of, very juvenile celebration after the fact is more of him trying to take in the day and really celebrate it. But it was striking to me just how negative he was for a win the first time.
Yeah, it's nice to see how happy he is here. And, I mean, like, part of me wonders, like, what that would be like if you had like, a really serious court case and then guys started knocking someone's wig off and they all started messing about. But I think I would have liked it, because you'd supposedly be quite happy, apart from the person who lost. So, there's gold in them hills, so don't lose heart. Give the day a chance to start. And we see our friend again. It's only the Grey Meister.
We're giving him a nickname now.
I think we should start calling our listeners the Graham Curries.
Yeah.
Or, actually, if you have like an award thing for like best guest, best, comment, you could call them the Graham Curries or whatever.
I want to see how many times we can mention Graham before he or whoever the guy actually is.
Oh yeah, would it be even better if it's not Graham Curry and it's somebody completely else?
Right, we named the wrong one.
Yeah.
But Graham Curry gets in touch and he's actually out of shot for the entire film. But just wanted
then we'll find out what scene he's in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. We got to get to the bottom of it.
If for any reason you'd missed the last episode where we talked about Graham Curry, we thought that was him. It isn't him, but we don't know that yet. Graham's actually in the How Long Will I Love You montage, so shout out to him, just not in this scene.
I know, so the first time Tim goes through and does this, he's sitting next to the dude, he seems a little annoyed. They're sitting, shoulder to shoulder, which, when I'm in public transportation, I'm anywhere in public, I try to social distance long before any of this stuff. I don't want people touching me, so I personally, I would have stood. I just would have stood instead of sitting next to somebody.
But if you're on the London Tube, you are damn lucky to get a seat.
I understand, but if you notice it, you can see it in both times that he relives this day. The seats across from him are wide open because you can see it in the reflection. So I don't understand why, he seems so bummed out. Yeah, well, maybe somebody peed on him for all we know.
Do you think Tim will start making annoyances in his life just so he can then appreciate them afterwards?
Yeah. Right. It's like you gotta take the good with the bad. So
it's a weird order to do it, actually, isn't it? appreciating and being silly the actual time that it happens, and not the version that you rewrite.
Everything works first.
Yeah.
You don't want to be having a stupid, fun time and then someone calls because someone's dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your going back in time, you accidentally end up killing the dad even earlier on. Because, I don't know, because a guy that he originally spoke to he talked to slightly longer, and 5 seconds later he hits the paramedic who was going to save his dad's life.
That next customer at the store is a little too happy now, so she drives faster. Changes the whole thing.
Yeah, you see, if he hadn't relived this minute, maybe his dad would have lived longer. That's what we're realizing. It's
he had to play
fault.
air guitar. It's all because of that air guitar.
Well, that's important.
So,
sorry, real quick about the air guitar. This song, Golden Them Hills, great song, but it's a very more melancholy kind of song, I think. And but then it's juxtaposed with Tim just rocking out to air guitar.
We can't hear. Yeah,
yeah.
I love it.
It doesn't really. Well, I mean, I like the idea.
Yeah, it doesn't mix at all, and that's why I like it.
Right.
It's just, it's like they couldn't be bothered to stop the music, so they just. I don't think it's couldn't be bothered. I think it's an intentional decision, but.
Yeah.
If they had stopped the music though, I think it would have actually kind of taken you out of it. But it just stood out to me, the fact that he's there guitaring to I would say Golden Them Hills to me is like one of those songs that hey, your girlfriend just broke up with you, so you're going to put this song on type thing, or, I had a rough day, I'm just going to have sit here with a glass of wine or a beer and just kind of listen to it. Or a sad country song almost, it's like one of those, there's this guy, Gary Allen, he's a country singer.
Yeah.
Great songs, but I never really feel good after listening to them because they're all just a little too, even the happy-go-lucky tunes are kind of more of a sad message. But sometimes the sad message is he does a song life isn't always beautiful, but it's a beautiful ride. Kind of the same idea of the concept of Golden Them Hills. And so it's I don't picture rocking out to that, but it is what it is.
If the listeners want to know the inspiration for Golden Them Hills, they could tune into the episode that came out yesterday. Anyway. So there's Golden Them Hills, and it's not such a bad day after all, Mary asks. And Tim says, no, it was and that's where it finishes there. And let's go straight into 104. Pretty good, actually. Very good day, actually, as it turns out. Sorry, pretty good, really, very good day, actually, as it turns out. Well, Mary says, that's a relief, because if it had been a very bad day, I thought I might have had to have sex with you to make up for it.
She's a liar.
Good night. What, because she didn't in the previous time?
Exactly.
Yeah, I was thinking.
He had a bad day, and she went right to bed.
I thought about that.
It was only when he had a good day that she does.
Yeah. Okay, so, maybe his day was so bad that she was just this isn't the time. It's not he didn't come home
It did look like he was already going to sleep that time.
No, but she only just asked him last time, though.
Yeah, but it's one thing to come home and be you're not going to believe the day I had. And you're still kind of upbeat about it, but you're holy crap, what a crappy day. And you're maybe a little agitated or something. And then she's hey, I'll make it up to you. Or not make it up to you, but I'll help you. But when he was defeated and almost depressed and just, like you said, just tired. And so she just was kind of all right, buddy. All right, that's fine. You just go to sleep. And now she, I was gonna say, now with her today, he had a good day. And so I think it's not so much that she wanted to make it up to him. It's she was probably a little randy, but realized now wasn't the time. Yeah. Now that he's actually had a good day. Fun. Yeah. She's oh, well, I guess you're going to miss out then since I don't have to do this for you.
But since I'm the negative one now, I'm saying Mary is a liar.
Yeah. All right. Heel turn. I forgot.
Yeah. So Tim says this brilliant line. It was a very, very bad day. It went very, very badly. I got fired from my job, and then I killed a man. That really stepping it up there.
Yeah, his day escalated quickly.
The camera angle changes even though we're in the dark, which is funny.
Really?
Yeah, they switched to the other camera angle before the light comes on.
And if you notice too, if I've watched this several times with my headphones not in, and you just hear him talking. when you have your headphones in, you hear her laugh twice. Like she's laughing at him like, oh, really? But, obviously like charmed laugh,
Yeah.
She's amused with him. She's like, oh, yeah.
And Tim narrates as he's holding Jeff on the train. Which I don't, like, why does he have a name? We never find out that his child's called Jeff.
Right.
It's just...
It's like the whole Star Wars action figures thing. You see a guy on the screen, they never get a name, but they have an action figure, so.
I'm glad they gave him a name and a credit, because now we know when this is. Because I wouldn't know it's been 5 months, except they credit him as Jeff 5 months.
Oh yeah, good point. So, yeah, he's on the... Maybe some of the commuters behind there have got credits as well.
Probably.
So Tim says, some days, of course, though, you only want to go through once. It's such a wonderful cut as well. And actually, I will say, in my cut of About Time, the re-edited version I did, Robert,
yeah,
I think I may have possibly made this moment sadder.
Ooh.
So, in my cut, because I put everything in chronological order, he's gone back in time with his dad. They go into the cupboard, close their eyes, clench the fists, the time travel noise builds up, and then bam, on the train, and his dad's dead.
Oh.
Just after they've spent that
earlier.
Yeah, just after they spent that time together. Like, I hadn't even thought it through while I was editing it, and when I was watching it back, I was like, ooh. Yeah, so, I mean, we talk a lot more about what's coming up on Friday, so have we got any other comments before we wrap up this Wednesday?
I'll make it brief, but I haven't really got a lot of Rachel McAdams, and I just say she's great. I love her and everything. And even when they try to make her more of like a not beautiful woman, I mean, not that she's supposed to be unattractive. Mary is very, very lovely, but she's frumpy in bed in the minutes I have her with glasses on and all that. She's still great. I've always liked Rachel McAdams. I first saw her in, I think it was Wedding Crashers, where I really knew who she was, and didn't realize I had seen her in other things before that, but I've liked her ever since then. She comes across, even when she's playing like the mean girl, like it's just like in this movie she's very, I keep using the word charming, and I'll say it again because that's, I guess apparently it's the only word I know. She's that, it fits for her perfectly in this. Like you guys have mentioned in that scene where, with the reviewer who was said, well, Tim was they thought Tim should have slept with the Margot Robbie and then erased the day. And it's like, you get why he was tempted to do that, but you also get why he didn't do it, because
we wouldn't be able, he's the audience's, what's the audience surrogate? Is that the word? Yeah. So we wouldn't be able to follow him for the rest of the film, because we don't have enough of Mary as a character to be able to connect with her when we don't with Tim.
Yeah.
When we're watching the movie normally.
Yeah, it would have to be a different
we've gotten more of her as a character by slowing it down.
Yeah. Which is
because even this moment at the end of the minute where she just looks up at him, and at the beginning of the next minute she asks, you okay? It's nice.
Oh yeah, she's great. I mean, she's definitely, you could see why, like I said, she's still a beautiful woman too, but you could see why, Tim falls for her so much and wouldn't want to risk that, even knowing that he could erase it and nobody would be the wiser, except for the audience and himself. And he's not that guy. And I was actually, this is getting on a whole other conversation, but I was actually relieved the movie didn't go there, because they could have used the time travel loophole to get him out of it. And it's nice because Margot Robbie is beautiful. She's still beautiful a couple years later when he runs into her. And it's kind of like that, like, schoolboy crush. He never got to really, date the head cheerleader type thing. And now's his opportunity to do it, and he doesn't take it, because look what he would be giving up if he did that. Even if he used time travel to erase what happened. Yeah, and she's great. Like you said, just that minute of her showing concern for him, taking care of the kids, looking at him in just that split second. She's well written, even if she's not. Like I said, we had these few minutes and didn't really have a lot of her. But even her just goofing around with him about, well, I guess I gotta make, I guess I don't have to make it up to you then because you had a good day. That's like cute stuff between couples, and she pulls it off well,
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
So, to those, just because we need to wrap up this, because I've got an incredible note for the start of Friday, so listeners should really be excited. Bryon, where can listeners find you on social media?
Well, if you want to follow me specifically, I'm on Twitter at Big Bilbowski, jeez, I can't even spell. BIGBILLBOWKSI. It's a long story. But, and then other than that, you can also find me at the Marine Corps Movie Minute podcast and all the social media related to that. Just Google us, you'll find us.
And Robert, where can listeners find you?
Robert E.G. Black on social media or lemmingdrops.com.
And the listeners can find me on Twitter at llama_bottle0, on Instagram at the Ginger Luke, on Facebook at Luke Allen Film. All podcasts, radio appearances, newspaper articles, short films, anything I'm remotely involved in is at lukeallen.co.uk. This podcast is on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at 2 Minutes About Time. They can find us on IMDb as 2 Minutes About Time. And we're also got a Facebook group, The Cupboard, where they can join. Is that your phone as I'm following you, by the way?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was wondering what it was, and I was like, oh yeah, it's exact in response to me following you on Twitter. And I think I've plugged everything. Goodbye. I forgot. You can give us a minute, and then I'll play the. No, I know we said we weren't going to do it, but let's do it. Give me a minute. The 2 Minutes About Time theme is performed by Ethan O'Mahony and is a cover of the About Time theme originally composed by Nick Laird-Close. 2 Minutes About Time is a production of Lemming Drop Studios in association with Bottle O Productions.